Office of the Child Advocate, who is charged formally, as I read online, with identifying patterns of treatment and service for children and making recommendations for systemic improvements. So what questions does the report raise for you about how we keep children safe?
Thank you first for the opportunity to be here to the panel, and Commissioner Cagle came up with this initiative and way to present the data. I talk fast, so I'm going to do that and stay within my time limit. For those of you who may or may not be familiar with the Office of the Child Advocate, we have a number of different legislative mandates, but the one that's most relevant for today's purpose is that we are to serve as an oversight agency for child welfare agencies in which DFACS has been involved in the last 5 years. So you will notice the 5-year time period is the same as that DFACS looks at deaths in which DFACS has been involved in the last 5 years. And so as part of this oversight responsibility, our agency does investigate cases. We investigate cases that are referred to us by anyone who would like to make such a referral and in which we have jurisdiction, that is, in which DFACS has been involved in the last 5 years. But specifically related to this report, we also review all child deaths and serious injury which DFACS touches. How? Because they share that information with us. So they tell us when that occurs so that we can investigate that case. Now, in looking at the report, I think the significance is really to break down and look at which of the deaths are deemed accidental, which of those are preventable. And in looking at the preventable deaths, we need to see, has there been any violation of law or policy by the Child Welfare Agency or any other state agencies involved with the children? So we really have to drill down and say, okay, what are the factors, and was everything done correctly? Was it done according to policy and law? If it was, in order to look at systemic change, are there changes needed to policy and to laws to affect better outcomes for these specific children? Now, if there were violations of law or policy, the next step is a collaborative effort with the Child Welfare Agency, in this case DFACS, to say, what should have been done differently? What can be done differently? How are we going to affect that change so that this doesn't happen again? I'm very happy to report that I've only been in this position for 6 months. Prior to that, I was an attorney for DFACS. It has been an excellent collaborative experience up until this point. We'd like to say theoretically every child's death should be prevented, any of those that are deemed preventable. We know that isn't always the case. And so OCA has to ask the hard questions and look at the hard cases to try to affect that change, and I'm happy that we're able to do that. I will say that one of the report questions raised by the report and the numbers is, are there good examples and bad examples of casework and work that's going into these specific cases? And the answer is probably not surprisingly yes. There's some very good examples of good casework. 8 out of 10 cases I review, everything's done according to policy and law. Everything's done correctly, so to speak. In the other 2 of 10 cases, I can tell you we see minor or major infractions of policy or law. And those are the hard cases we really have to look at as an agency. And we have to hold everyone accountable. It's not just DFACS. There are judges who make the decisions. It's the case managers. It's the attorneys for DFACS. There are a lot of players, and so we have to raise the bar and really hold each of these accountable for their part in the puzzle.